Guys, we are so totally super back, guys. We're back, guys. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the subs, guys. And guys, we are back with another one of my favorite things, guys. If you have not seen this series, because this whole series has been live. Every single time I've done these, it's been on the lives. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but I know most people probably not watching these lives. It doesn't matter though, because this is just kind of a waste of time anyway. But yeah, guys. So this series is just me. Instead of you guys showing me or telling me albums to check out, this is me showing you guys some of my favorite albums. This is sort of like the other series that I'm doing on this channel, Vibe with Me. But on Vibe with Me, we're only doing individual songs. And on Vibe with Me, I'm not putting what we're listening to in the title. That's like a random grab bag thing. On this one, I am putting what we're listening to. So you guys clicked on it. You guys know what we're about to hear, guys. One of my super favorite albums. This album is amazing. This is also, like I said, normally we do these live, and we will go back to doing some more of these live. The only problem is, if you guys know me, or if you guys ever been in the lives or anything, you guys know I talk too much. I have a tendency to never shut up. If you guys just watch these videos, guys, I did a video like yesterday or 2 days ago maybe, listening to Solange, and I didn't even realize until after I uploaded it. I'm like, oh, I spent like 40 minutes talking after the album. Like, I started rambling about like music theory and like extended diatonicism. I don't know why I started talking about that. I just ramble, guys. I talk too much. So my point is, I was gonna do this one live, but I'm like, no, we can't do this one live right now because the album's only half hour, and if I go live, it's gonna be at least 3 hours for sure because I never stop talking. So, and then next thing you know, I just want to start putting on more stuff, and I'm like, nah, let's just do this as a pre-recorded one. Because I want to make more reactions today. So anyway, guys, I'm rambling, but so guys, we're about to hear one of my super favorite albums. This album, I actually haven't heard it in a while, to be honest with you, so I'm actually kind of excited to hear it. This is just a super classic for me personally. I will say, back when I was in high school, when I was 15, I would say, yeah, like junior year, like when I was 15. I used to listen to this every single morning, all the time. I loved the guys when I was 15. I was so in love with this album, like ridiculous. As a matter of fact, too, it's completely random side story. But this is kind of relevant though. So one of the very first chicks that I ever hooked up with, like, you know what I mean, like, guys, like I was like 15, and I remember, like, I used to have first period science class, right? And I used to listen to this. I used to have to like take a bus. Like, I used to have to like walk from home to the bus stop, wait for the city bus, get on the bus, and then there was like a bus stop like sort of near where I went to high school, and then you kind of like right at the end of the block, you get off, you just walk to the school, right? And I always used to be listening to this all the time, and I remember one time there was this chick, right? We used to talk. She was like, and because like she sat like right next to me in class, right? And I remember one time she goes, because I always had headphones on. I would always walk up to school with headphones on, always, right? Because I always would be listening to music nonstop and in class, and you know what I mean? Because I at that time I had super long hair. And so you just have your hair down, and you could fucking have headphones on all day. You don't have to, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to listen to the teacher at all. You can just be listening to music nonstop, which is what I did. But anyway, so I remember one time though, I walked up, and we were, again, this was first period, so we're both waiting for the teacher to get there. You know what I mean? So we could go into class, and like, all the kids, all the students on the side, right? I just remember she was like, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And I was like, "Oh, it's some boring old music. You wouldn't want to hear it." She's like, "No, let me hear it." Oh, guess what? Because she took out, I had earbuds on, and she took out one of the, with headphone, with wires, you know what I mean? She took one out, and she's like, "Oh, let me," I'm like, "Yeah, I got my," she's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Patsy Cline." And she's like, "Oh my God, I love Patsy Cline so much." And we ended up hooking up later on that, because of Patsy Cline. So I just have to throw that out there. Why you guys are like, what? It's just stories from my life, guys. This album, my point is, how I hooked up with one of the very first times I ever hooked up with a chick was actually directly related to this album in particular. Because not only did she love Patsy Cline, she used to listen to this album all the time too. Guys, this album is amazing. I know you're like, I know you guys are listening like, what are you talking about? Hey, this is just stories from my life, guys. All right, what do you want? Hey, guys, if you want somebody who just gets to go watch another reaction channel, guys. This is what this channel is, okay? So guys, we're about to get into this super classic, guys. This was released in 1967. Does it have the date on here? No, this has like the reissue date of 2006. This I know for sure. This was released in 67. Patsy Cline. Guys, if you don't know Patsy Cline, I'm still rambling, guys. Big shout out. The reason that we're doing this, I have to say also, super huge shout out to Cece, who hit me up on Twitter, and let me know that not only did she watch the reaction I did to the Cowboy Carter, but in that reaction, I mentioned Patsy Cline. Because if you guys heard the album Cowboy Carter, you guys heard the track Sweet Honey Buggin', you know that B kind of interpolated I Fall to Pieces from Patsy Cline. And I mentioned in that video, Cece hit me up on Twitter saying that not only did she dig the video, but that she ended up looking up Patsy Cline and heard I Fall to Pieces because of it. I'm like, that's the most fired thing. Like, guys, that literally makes this whole channel, like, that's like what, that's the whole channel's worth it now after that. Like, getting somebody to listen to Patsy Cline. Like, are you serious, guys? That's so fire. You know, when we did Vibe With Me, I remember I got a couple of you guys to listen to Suicide. Like, that's fire. You know what I mean? Like, that's so fire. Like, get people to listen to new stuff. So, guys, my point is shout out to Cece because that made me think, oh, you know what? We should just do a whole Patsy Cline thing. And, I wasn't sure which one to do because she only released 2 full LPs in her lifetime. If you guys know about Patsy Cline, if you don't know, guys, I know I'm rambling, guys. This, like I said, I talk too much. Guys, Patsy Cline, she died very young. She was only 30. She was only 30 years old, and she died in a plane crash. It's an incredibly sad story. But you know, she has still to this day some of the all-time greatest country records of all time, like amazing. Not even just country, just recorded music period. But if we're talking specifically country music, like when you think about the country greats and the all-time great country recordings of all time, like Patsy Cline is on that list. Everybody loves Patsy. Everybody knows Patsy Cline. Like everybody, it doesn't matter like the respect level for her. Like she's like all-time great super country goated. Like there's nobody, because there are some artists in country, if you guys are into country, there are some artists who some people are not 100% on. Like they have fans, but then they have some detractors or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like that with Patsy Cline. She's universally loved. She's universally lauded. She's universally like praised as just one of the all-time greats. You know what I mean? So anyway, she, like I said, she, you know, very tragically died at 30 years old. But right before she died, a month before she died in March of 63. In February of 63, she had her very last recording session for what was to be her upcoming album. It was going to be Faded Love. She died as a result. That album was never finished. Some of those tracks were released as singles, and some of those tracks were released on the very first posthumous album that was released from her on the Decca label, which was called The Patsy Cline Story, which is not what we're listening to, although The Patsy Cline Story, that's another great one too. But this one was released 4 years after her death. This is in 67. And this one was released as Patsy Cline's Greatest Hits. And it features 2 tracks on here that previously had not been issued on LP. They had only been issued as a single. So even though this is like technically a compilation album, it still has features some unheard tracks. So it's sort of a newish at the time thing, but not really because it's sort of compilation-y, but sort of. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're about to hear right now, guys. The great Patsy Cline, super amazing. So anyway, guys, yeah, let's just get into it. Rest in peace to Patsy Cline. We have to say that before anything. What if, you know, what's crazy too is she, you know, very interesting. You know, she was born as Virginia Patterson Hensley. That was her birth name, Virginia Patterson Hensley. And when she was growing up into her early 20s, she was known as Virginia or Ginny because her first name was Virginia. But she ended up, you know, it's still a common thing, but it was also, especially, I feel like sort of more common back then, to change your name, like to a showbiz name, as they would call it back then. And, some people told her she needed like a more showbiz type name. So her middle name was, like I said, that she changed it to Patsy because of her middle name, Patsy. And then she married this dude, Gerald Cline. That was her very first husband. And so when she got married to him, she was going by Patsy Cline. They got divorced, but she had already been using that name, so she just stuck with that name. Anyway, I'm rambling, guys. Guys, I love Patsy Cline. She's so amazing. As a matter of fact, too, I remember also back to, really quick story back when I was like 15, 16. I would have been 16 at this time, actually. 15 when I was obsessed with this album. But when I was 16, that's when I got my very first actual record player, like to play vinyl. And I remember I got it at a garage sale. It was an old school 70s, it was a fire. I wish I still had it. I really wish I still had it, but it ended up breaking and I tried to get it repaired. It was a whole saga. Long story short, that I don't have it anymore. But it was one of those old school ones where it was like a super high quality one that was like meant for if you guys remember those old, back when stereos used to be like components, and there would be like the tape deck, and then there would be the phonograph, and then there would be the receiver for AM FM, and then there would be the amp, and you would put it in this case, and it was like a whole thing, and then you would have speakers to hear, you know what I mean, back in those days. It was one of those, and it had the thing where you could stack up a bunch of records. You could stack up to 10 records, and then they would just, as soon as one was finished, the arm would auto lift and it would go back, and then the next record would drop, and then the arm would auto lift again and come back, and then just start playing. I totally missed that record player. So that was my very first one, and I got it with that and the amp and the speakers for $20. That was still to this day my favorite record player. Anyways, I'm rambling, guys, but my point is, when I bought that, the very first 3 records that I ever bought, the first one was I bought Johnny Rivers Live at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I bought Sade Diamond Life, and the third one I bought was a Patsy Cline. It was Patsy Cline Live Volume 2, which was a release that they did in the 80s of a bunch of her live stuff. There was a Volume 1, which is super fire. The Volume 1 is her on the Grand Ole Opry, and Volume 2 is just various radio things. I ended up, guys, I've heard everything. I've heard every Patsy Cline recording possible. From the early days, she started out kind of doing more rockabilly stuff, almost kind of like Wanda Jackson-ish, you know what I mean? Which, actually, a random too, I actually got to see Wanda Jackson. I feel very lucky. I actually got to see Wanda Jackson, guys. How crazy is that? I actually saw Wanda Jackson live, and I saw Jerry Lee Lewis before too. Whatever, guys. I'm rapping, guys. Released sometime in '67. I'm not sure the date because it doesn't have the original date. But guys, this is Patsy Cline's greatest hits. Let's get right into it. I will say really quick too, this first track that we're about to hear is a re-recording of her 1950. What year was Walking After Midnight? 58? 59? This is a re-recording from 61 with the Jordanaires. I prefer the original version, but this is still a good version too. And then the rest, none of these are re-recordings of the rest. But the first one is she re-recorded her big hit because she ended up signing to the Decca label, and so she just did a re-record of But anyway, guys, let's get into it, guys. This one, super fire, and guys, like I said, if you guys have not ever heard this, or you guys are not really super into country or never heard it, guys, she has one of the most beautiful, amazing voices you've ever heard, guys. And this one in particular, this compilation, her whole career was not just ballads, but this compilation is extremely ballad heavy. You guys know how much I love ballads. Guys, when we get to Faded Love, guys, I'm gonna pause it before we get to Faded Love because around, but her voice on the whole thing, but guys, on Faded Love at the very end, you hear she's so into it, and she's singing the whole story. There's a whole story there with fucking Harold Bradley and Owen Bradley. They were the owner and producer, respectively, of the Decca label that she was signed to. Whatever. There's a whole story behind that too, but you hear her at the end, her voice breaks she's about to literally start bawling her eyes out. It's legendary, guys. Let's get into this, guys. Patsy Cline's greatest hits.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight.
The original has a steel, which you guys know I love steel, but this one has the Jordanaires on the background.
Along the highway, well, that's just my way. I'll say I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching
hairs, the background vocals.
I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night will whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping you may be somewhere I'm walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night will whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight. Maybe somewhere I'm walking after midnight, searching for me.
My bad, I have to adjust the volume, guys. I don't know if we're loud enough or not.
Sweet dreams of you. Every night I go through.
Hear her voice. Listen to her voice.
Why can't I forget you and start my life anew? Instead of having sweet dreams about you.
Guys, have you ever broke up with somebody and then had dreams about them? Oh my god.
You
This is too much.
don't love me, it's plain. I should know I'll never wear your ring. I should hate you the whole night through. Instead of having sweet dreams about you. Sweet dreams of you. Things I know can't come true. Why can't I forget the past? Start loving someone new. Instead of having sweet dreams about you.
What? Oh my god, guys. I'm gonna, if I end up crying by the end of this, guys, the Willie Nelson classic, even though really it's the Patsy Cline classic, but Willie Nelson wrote it, guys. It's one of the great country songs ever.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted. And then someday you'd leave me for somebody new.
With that chromatic walk up. Guys, this music is literally too much, guys. It's literally overwhelming. Guys, that's the great Hank Garland on guitar right there, guys.
I fall to pieces.
And the great Don Helms on the steel. What? Don Helms and Hank Garland? What?
I fall to pieces. How can I be just your friend? You want me to act like we've never kissed.
And the Jordanaires in the back?
Forget. Pretend we've never met. And I've tried, but I haven't yet. You walk by and I fall to pieces.
Guys, Hank Garland and Don Helms. What?
I fall to pieces each time someone speaks your name.
I'm gonna cry, guys.
Fall to pieces. Time only adds to the blame. You tell me to find someone else to love, someone who'll love me too, the way you used to do. But each time I go out with someone new, you walk by and I fall to pieces. You walk by and I fall to pieces.
Yeah, this is literally some of the greatest recordings ever made. Like, legit. Like,
I've been so wrong for so long. Thought I could live without the love that you give. I was wrong, oh so wrong. I've been so wrong for so long. I didn't know that I love you so. I was wrong. Well, I never knew I could want you, darling. it right. I was wrong.
Oh my god, guys. Who's better than guys? These are some of the most beautiful recordings ever made. I'm so serious, guys. Let's thank Carlin again, so.
Strange how you stopped loving me, how you stopped needing me when she came along. How strange, strange, you changed like night and day, just up and walked away. When she came along, how strange. Well, I guess that I was just your puppet. You held on a string.
Jordanaires in the back.
To think I thought you really loved me, but look what thoughts can bring. Strange, you're still in all my dreams. Oh, what a funny thing. I still care for you. Oh, how strange. Well, I guess that I was just your puppet you held on a string. To think I thought you really loved me, but look what those can bring. Oh, strange, you're still in all my dreams. Oh, what a funny thing. I still care for you. How strange, how strange, how strange, how strange, how strange.
Oh my god. Guys. At every track. It's every track.
I'm back in baby's arms. How I miss those loving arms. I'm back where I belong, back in baby's arms. Don't know why we quarreled. We had it before. Since we found out how it hurt, I bet we never quarrel anymore. I'm back in baby's arms. How I miss those loving arms. I'm back where I belong, back in baby's arms. Thought I didn't need his love till he took it away. Now I'm back where I belong, and in my baby's arms I'm gonna stay. I'm back in baby's arms. How I miss those loving arms. I'm back where I belong, back in baby's arms, back in baby's arms, back in baby's arms, back in baby's.
Guys, this album, I'm so serious when I say that it's literally. I'm gonna shut up, guys. She has one of the greatest voices ever.
I've got your picture that you gave to me, and it signed with love, just like it used proved you care, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got these little things, she's got you. I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know it won't let me be. I've got your class ring that proved you care, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got these little things, she's got you.
Guys, this is literally, I'm so glad we're hearing this right now. This is so amazing. Alright, so we're gonna pause it. I have to just, guys, I just have to emphasize again, guys, listen to her vocals on this, guys, because this is literally my favorite. I've heard every single Patsy Cline thing. Guys, I love Patsy Cline so much. This is my favorite track that she ever did. This is so amazing. Like I said, the album that she was supposed to put out before, or you know, that she was recording, the album she was recording before she passed, was going to be called Sweet Dreams. So this would have been the title track. This is a cover of an old Bob Wills song. If you guys don't know Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, they basically were the kings. Bob Wills is known as the king of Western swing. If you don't know Western swing, it's an old style of music from back like in the 30s, which is like a sort of trippy like country jazz hybrid. It's amazing music. This is an old Western swing song. It's way more up tempo the way it's always been taken, the way Bob Wills did it, and the way other people covered it up until this point. And she completely just switched it up, take it super slow, and yeah, just listen to her vocals on this. I'm just gonna shut up, guys. This is literally one of my favorite vocal performances of all time. I'm not trying to hype it up too much, but I mean, guys, this is the great Patsy Cline, guys. This is the great Patsy Cline doing Faded Love.
As I look at the letters that you wrote to me, it's you that I am thinking of. As I read the lines that to me were so dear, I remember our faded love. I miss you, darling, more and more every day. As heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartbeat, I still think of you and remember our faded love. As I think of the past and all the pleasures we had, as I watched the mating
literally about to start crying, right? She was literally about to start crying because she was so into that take.
He takes me to the places you and I used to go. He tells me over and over that he loves me so. He gives me love that I never got from you. He loves me too. His love is true. Why can't he be you? He never fails to call and tell me I'm on his mind. And I'm lucky to have such a guy. I hear it all the time. And he does all the things that you would never do. He loves me too. His love is true. Why can't he be you? He's not the one who dominates my mind and soul. And I should love him so, 'cause he loves me, I know. But his kisses leave me cold. He sends me flowers, calls on the hour, just to prove his love. And my friends say when he's around, I'm all he speaks of. And he does all the things that you would never do. He loves me too. His love is true. Why can't he be you? got leaving on your mind, tell me now, get it over.
That change right there, right?
Hurt me now, get it over. If you got leaving on your mind, if there's a new love in your heart, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, don't leave me in a world filled with dreams that might have been. Hurt me now, get it over. I may learn to love again. If there's a new love in your heart, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your
I literally feel like I just have to end the video right now. I have to end the video right now. Am I supposed to talk after that? What are we supposed to do with that? Guys, that is one of the best. Man. Like I said, a lot of those, majority of those tracks had, again, they were already. I mean, every track obviously was obviously pre-recorded, right? Because she had already passed in '63. This is '67. But like I said, there was a couple of tracks. I want to say, I'm totally blanking on which one. It was. I'm totally blanking. It was two of them. There were two of these tracks that hadn't been released on an album before. They were only released as singles. But yeah, amazing. I super just... And this one, it's kind of weird that we did this one because I will say, and I have like different... To me, there's two types of albums. I'm rambling, guys. If you guys don't want to hear me talk, just end this video right now, guys. Just end it. Guys, to me, there are two different types of albums. There is the old school original album, and then there's the modern album. Now, the old school original album, guys, if you don't know, guys, back in the day when music originally music used to be recorded on these wax cylinders, and eventually it ended up getting made on these flat discs, right? Now, when it finally started became on flat discs, you would have one song per side of the music, right? So if you wanted to put out 14 songs, let's say, right? Let's say 14. Let's do an even number, right? Let's say you wanted to do 14 songs, you would have to put out, it would have to be 7 individual discs with one song per side, right? But back in the early days of records, they would be released just one at a time, right? But eventually they got the idea, basically, like, like an old school photo album, like not like on your phone, but like a physical photo album. Well, it's the same thing. Well, this was a record album, so you would, if you guys ever see, I have some, but I just don't want to fucking actually have to like bring them over, but but you guys just look them up, like it would be literally like an old school, it would be like a book. Like I have several like old school original albums. Like it would be like a book, like a thick ass thing like this with like a big like thick cover page, and then you open it and there would be like some like information written, and then there would be the first record, and then you turn the page, and then there's the next record. They turn the page, and there's the next record, and all together that was called an album. So that's the original version of an album, is just a bunch of songs put together. So in its truest original sense, this is an album. But the modern form of the album, to me, is something that's thought of and made entirely as a complete statement. It's not a compilation. It's not live. It's not whatever. It's, although it could incorporate elements of live, I suppose. But like, to me, like, an album is something that's done. Like, it's sort of more in the sense of like a movie, like the way like a movie is an entire thing and not just a bunch of clips put together. You know what I mean? But in the original truest sense of what an album is, that's what an album is. You know what I mean? I have some Nat King Cole albums. I have some like Benny Goodman albums. I have like a lot of like old school super fire albums that like, that's what they are though. They're like that. It's just they're on 78, which like, if you guys know, like if you guys ever seen a record player, you guys see like the different speeds. There's like 33 and a third, 45. There's 78. There's also 16. 16 is like a whole other thing, but these are all in 78, and these are super. They're fragile as how you drop them and they break. Literally, like guys, you're seeing It's a Wonderful Life when when George goes over to see Mary and she breaks the record. It's literally like that. Guys, anyways, I'm rambling, but yeah. So guys, my point is, in the original sense of an album, meaning just a bunch of stuff put together, not necessarily a complete worked out thought. In the original sense of the album, this is one of my favorite albums. In the second sense, I can't put it on there because you can't count a compilation as an original thought, right? But, or not, I mean, not that you can't, but you know what, guys, you guys know what I'm saying. Especially listening like this, a posthumous release, you know what I mean? But anyway, my point being, guys, this is one of my favorite albums in the original meaning of the sense of an album, meaning just a bunch of tracks put together. This is one of my favorite albums. And like I said earlier, guys, if this is what I was obsessed with when I was 15, so in case you guys are wondering, because there's been several comments since we've had this channel, how have you never heard this? There's no way you never heard this person or this song. You're lying. Guys, when I was 15, this is what I was obsessed with. I would listen to this every single day, riding the bus, going to school. This is, you know what I mean, having to walk to the fucking bus stop, get on the stupid fucking bus. You know what I mean, with the, it was... Guys, buses in LA are the worst, guys. The metro is the worst. But anyway, but guys, yeah, and just listening to this every single day, every single morning. Like, guys, this is what I was obsessed with. So it's like, how have you never heard this? Because this is what I was obsessed with when I was 15, guys. I don't know. And also, it's funny too because now hearing it like 10 years later, I feel like it hits way different. You know what I mean? But still, even like 10 years ago, it was still super fire. But anyway, guys, I am completely rambling. I talk too much. Guys, we will totally be back. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to anybody who watched this and heard me ramble about all this nonsense. And if you dug this, guys, literally just go look up anything Patsy Cline. I promise you, you'll love everything that she ever recorded. If you love this, you'll love everything. She didn't just record ballads, even though this was, like I said, super ballad heavy. I love ballads, personally, so I super loved it. I've always just super been into ballads, but... she also, like I said, did a lot of different stuff. She did a lot of more upbeat stuff, more upbeat country. Like I said, she always kind of like in the rockabilly-ish kind of scene too, in the late 50s too. So go check out some Patsy Cline, guys. And yeah, guys, we'll be back. Shout out to everybody. I love you guys. The next one that we do with these will be live. But yeah, I've talked enough as it is. Imagine if we were doing this live. It would be overkill. Guys, we'll be back. Shout out to everybody. Guys, also go check out my other channel, my music in the description on there. And yeah, we'll be back, guys.